Welcome to Murfreesboro Rock School, helping kids one power chord at a time. And in this case, one video at a time. This is a part of our video library, and this will be in our music theory section. This is actually the first video in our music theory section. And we're going to be covering the basics of rhythm. So let's take a look at what we've got here. We have these lines and spaces. These lines and spaces are called our staff. Pretty much most of the things that we're going to be writing out are going to go on the staff. Now we've got this symbol over here. This is our treble clef. Clefs in general tell us what pitch to play when we see a note. And since right now we're purely dealing with rhythm, the clef isn't going to have any impact on what we're talking about. What will have a really big impact though is this. This set of numbers is our time signature. And what this tells us is that in a measure there are 4 beats. All right, so a measure. Whenever you're writing music out, music is broken up into measures. A measure is just a set of beats. And in this particular measure, we have 4 beats. So anytime we want to play this measure or count this measure out, we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that's the whole measure. If we have several measures together in 4/4, you would count to 4, and then you'd start over again with 1 at the next measure. Okay, so let's get some notes on here. The first type of note that we're going to talk about is a whole note. Our whole notes last for 4 beats. So when you see a whole note drawn out, that means that you're going to let it ring or you're going to play it for 4 whole beats. So let's put one in. Whole note's just a circle. Oops, sorry about that. Whole note is just a circle. And when we play it, it's going to last for all 4 beats. So let's hit play. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's done. That's how you play a whole note. Pretty straightforward. Now, next thing that we're going to talk about is a half note. Half notes get half as many beats as a whole note. So if we put a half note into our song, then it's going to last for 2 beats. So our first half note gets beat 1 and beat 2. And then our next half note is going to get beats 3 and beat 4. So when we go to play this, 1, 2, and then this one is 3, 4. Let's listen. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that's how you play a half note. Now, the last type of note that we're going to go into in this lesson is a quarter note. A quarter note lasts for 1 beat. So our first quarter note is going to go on beat 1. Our next quarter note is going to go on beat 2. Our next quarter note is going to go on beat 3. And our last quarter note is going to go on beat 4. So when we go to play this, we'll play each note when its beat arrives. Let's take a listen. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how you would play that measure. All right, so those are the first 3 types of notes: the whole note, the half note, and the quarter note. And you'll notice that the half note had the circle with the hole empty, and the quarter note here, the hole is filled in. Last thing I want to talk about in this lesson is that you don't have to use all the same kind of note. You can mix and match notes in the measure. But the rule is the measure has to add up to 4 beats. That's what that time signature there is telling us. So let's give it a shot. Let's mix a couple notes up. First kind of note that we'll put in is a half note. So that's going to last for 2 beats. And now let's put in a quarter note on beat 3 and a quarter note on beat 4. So this beat is going to last for 2 beats. This note's going to last for 2 beats. Then this note gets a beat, and that note gets a beat. We've kind of gotten our alignment off a little bit here. All right, let's take a listen. 1, 2, 3, 4 is how you would play that measure. Now we can go in and we can mix and match these notes any way that we want. We could also come in, we could also come in and we could put a quarter note first. Get our quarter note in here. And then we could use a half note and put that half note on beat 2. And then lastly, we could put another quarter note here at the end. That's also 4 beats. So if we go to play that, we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I hope that all that makes sense. Definitely go check out murfreesbororockschool.com for all of the videos in our video library, along with some great programs and other information, and be sure to stay tuned for the next lesson. All right, thanks a lot.